Hope everyone had a good start of the week. We're halfway here in Aussie. Wednesday. And we're getting some nice movement. I reckon we can just about get started. Let's get started. I think we've got enough people. Welcome, team. Welcome to another week. And here, trading with Aussie. We'll have a little bit of a look at what the market is doing. And of course, if you're here live with me today, thank you for sharing your time with us. And if you're watching the recording, please make sure to leave a comment down below. The audio should be working this time because I can see the mic going up and down, so all should be good. Without any further ado, I reckon we can just about getting started with the Bitcoin dominance. We looked at it last week. We said it was a massively important level, of course. G'day, Lars. I see you in the chat. I see you, fam. We spoke about the massive level and how we were likely going to break it, and sure enough, we broke it. That bullish post that I did in the in the Discord. Basically, here we are now in altcoin territory. We do expect some sort of buying pressure right here, right? And sure enough, we are starting to see a couple of bullish candles consecutive on a daily, which is all to be expected. I would love to see some sort of retracement for a further push down, because that would effectively give us an effective market. Apologies for the cacophony of effectiveness there. There is obviously a bit of room for BTC to come up. Doesn't have to come up all the way here. It can just simply retrace a little bit higher. But with that in mind, obviously, we are expecting some sort of potential bearish retracement, because if Bitcoin goes up, Bitcoin dominance goes up, likely we will see some sort of bearishness in altcoins. And obviously, we can do the opposite argument for ETH BTC. We had this area marked up as selling pressure. You can see here we are starting to see some of that selling pressure coming in, which is all good, because we want eventually for ETH BTC to come back into this area for plays. For example, we could be swapping some BTC for some Bitcoin and aim at a 2 or even a 3x. So that's just a different way of playing the market, where you're not deploying any more capital. You're just swapping in between two assets as opposed to USD. You're swapping in BTC, and of course, the ultimate goal here for ETH BTC will be to acquire more Bitcoin in the end. So you can see I've got my take profit here. So if I enter down here, and then I would say that's a 100% move, that's a 150% move. So if I put, I'm just saying, one Bitcoin, which I'm not going to do, but if I see one Bitcoin up here, by the end here, I've got 1.5 Bitcoin, regardless of what the price of the assets is doing, right? So it's an appreciation game versus two assets. So that BTC and ETH BTC, and now we can have a look at the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin US dollar chart. Bitcoin BTC is being ranging sideways for now. Was that since Saturday? So a few days, 3-4 days. You can see this sideways price action. And tell me in the chat, what is this? What are we creating here? What are we creating here? Tell me in the chat. Let me know that I'm not by myself. What are we creating in this sideways price action? Starts with an L. Accumulation, liquidity, beautiful. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. We're basically creating liquidity on the downside and liquidity on the upside. And you can see we already had obviously a liquidity grab on the 4-hour up here in this candle. We already mitigated it with these triple highs, but I am expecting some sort of retest here, and then I'd love to see a short to come and fill some of these imbalances that we left behind. Similar a discussion that we just had on Bitcoin dominance. I want to see an effective market that fills out the imbalances, leaving us without any gaps effectively for the upside, right? So that's kind of my my ideal scenario for BTC. I'm not pressing any buy or sell at the moment, but I would love to see a retest of this 4-hour candle and definitely a retest of these triple highs up here. So some sort of rejection from here would be nice. Ethereum, however, we've got a live idea. It's already starting to move. Damn it. Okay, this is a live idea that I just took just before coming into the live. You can see like 10 minutes ago. I'm short on ETH here, and I'll show you why. So this is a live idea. I've got two entries. I've got an entry on current market price, which is where it was just now. So basically 3689 was my entry, but if we zoom into lower time frame, I'm sure we'll get a re-entry very close, probably into this candle right here. So if you want to put an entry alert at 3679, that will be the current market price that I'll be looking at re-entering for this idea. And the second entry will be just above this stop loss here. Basically what I'm seeing is obviously a big push on the 1 hour into this candle, taking out liquidity. You can see that was the liquidity up here. Grabbed it. Yes, it got mitigated, but it left behind obviously equal highs. So I'd love to see if this idea is invalidated. I'd love to see price come back into these highs, retest this area, and then short. So my second entry will be off of this. I think it's a 15 minutes. Let me just get rid of that. It's a 15 or 5 minutes. I didn't even mark it because I was getting ready for the live. It was a 5 minutes candle. This 5 minutes candle right here. So this will be my second entry. Basically, this two consecutive order block of 2 5 minutes candle. I'd love to see if this area gets invalidated. Of course, this will be a nice area 2 or entry 2 for a short, and the stop will be a little bit higher in that case, of course. So I don't mind being stopped out 0.5% if I re-enter, and my take profit will be the same. So down here, so this then becomes a 3.5 risk to reward. So this is kind of my ETH take, a little bit more bearish than Bitcoin at current market price. And the reason is, and I'll probably put them side by side so it's a little bit easier to see. So we do Bitcoin here and ETH here. So if we do them on the, let's do them on the 4 hour. This might be a little bit slow. On the 4 hour, you can see that Bitcoin is moving a lot more sideways, right? It's basically just creating this. Oh no, I can't do that. I have to do it. But it's doing this kind of liquidity, but it hasn't broken any structure. If anything, has created a higher high in a 4 hours. So that was obviously lower low, higher low, lower low, higher high. So it could potentially go back up and create another, well, before actually it goes down, create a higher low, and then it goes up and create another high high. Whereas Ethereum has already broken structure in my eyes. So that was obviously the high, and then you can see that was the low and a high and a low. It's a bit more visible on the 1 hour in ETH. It's quite clear to me that it's broken structure. There was obviously high, higher low, higher high, lower low. So it broke structure right there, and then it failed to create another higher high, and it now is making lower highs. So I'm expecting lower lows for ETH, which will make perfect sense into what we just discussed. We just had a look at ETH BTC potentially getting some bearish pressure due to Bitcoin dominance, of course, having a bit of a bullish retracement. Makes perfect sense for ETH to give a bit of market share at the moment and have a small correction. Market price, of course, goes up and goes down. Just because it goes down doesn't mean that we're bearish. This is on a 4 hour, so we're not looking at a macro. I'm still very much bullish. We are going to see probably 4 or 5k ETH in the next few weeks. I'd say we are fully in altcoin altcoin season, but I don't mind playing a little scalp on a bearish idea there on ETH. So that's a live idea. Keep an eye out for a re-entry on the lower time frame right there into that candle. Okay, so up to you if you're live, and if obviously if you're watching the recording, you can't take a live idea. Solana is a live idea, which we I mean, I don't know what to say. This is I was at 1100% up here, so obviously taking my profit. We absolutely nailed this idea. So even now we're sitting at under 1 to 10. It was a 1 to 11 there. So up to you if you want to take some profit. We're definitely going to see some sort of retracement on the downside. We have hit a node in the market, a bearish pressure right here. Step 1 and step 2 are going to be the two bearish areas that we're looking at. The first one is right here where we are, and it's already starting to develop that bearish price action. So personally, and this is how I play it, and I'm going to be perfectly transparent, I took out 75% of this position right here. So I closed 75% of my position, and I'm going to leave 25% for this runner to go up. So I've basically closed very much in profit, and I'm very happy with that take profit, of course. And now if the market comes all the way back down and then it goes all the way back up, I am stress free because my stop loss is at break even. I didn't even bother putting it in profit because I want to give the market so much room. I've taken out 75%, so I'm happy, and I suggest you, if you're in this idea, to potentially do the same. Obviously your money, you'll take profit, do what you want, but I do see potentially Sol coming back into this this area in the short term. My take profit still remains up here, but one of the reasons as well why I did take 75% out is technically this harmonic is now completed. You can see A, B, C, D. We have gone above the B. We have hit a 618 area, so technically this harmonic is completed. Doesn't necessarily have to go up here now. This is obviously a full take profit, so we could very much come back down all the way down before we go back up into the second selling pressure area. So that is my reasoning for closing 75%. Similar harmonic situation here for XRP, where we have obviously completed a massive harmonic right here, and potentially we could see some bearish price action as well. You can see on the daily we have now reached a quite important area of Fibonacci extension. So I'll do it live so you can see. So if we take a fib from the low to this previous high, we have now hit a 618 negative extension. We're kind of in between this -1 to 72. So I would love, and I spoke about it in the last session, I would love for XRP to crab and go all the way up there now. But there is also an argument to be made that on the 4-hour, we are obviously seeing the similar price action as BTC now, which means we could potentially get some sort of retracement and take out some of this liquidity. Obviously, unless this is a flag and it decides to go back up. We won't know until structure, which in this case is this 4-hour candle right here, is broken and invalidated. So if we start making lower lows and lower highs, then we know that we are going to go back lower. But obviously, if we start closing above this beautiful equal highs up here, then we know that potentially we are going to go for that crab and go back up, but too soon to tell. Those are the main four: BTC, ETH, SOL, and XRP. So a couple of trades that I wanted to show. Obviously, we did take an absolutely sniper entry on anime. I truly hope that anyone that was in this trade took a profit, because that was a beautiful move that we caught on anime, and I do expect now to potentially come back into entry. So definitely move stop loss at break even. This is an active trade that we have, of course. And similarly in Jupiter, this is also an active trade. Once again, sniped it because we are expecting some sort of bearish correction right? We are expecting some of these imbalances to be filled. Definitely take profit if you have not yet, because this is currently, if you took the entry with me, you are at a 1 to 4.5 risk to reward or thereabouts. So just wanted to give a quick update on the 2 live trades. Now let's take, excuse me, let's take a look at a couple of other interesting charts that I was looking at. BONK, of course, this was, we can probably delete that. That was obviously the idea that we had. No point in having it up there. But I wanted to have a look at this chart because we have now a very interesting level once again. So you can see from low to high, like we did earlier in one of these charts. I can't remember. Memory of a goldfish today. This is now an area where I will be looking personally for a potential short idea. So this is definitely into selling pressure territory, which makes perfect sense. When you look at it on the left on previous price action, you can see we have quite a lot of indecision here. Bear, bull, bear, bull. We are now into this area once again. And this could be potentially a nice little short for BONK. Something like this, oopsie, something like this perhaps, with a tighter stop loss. Could be a nice idea, even on the macro, on the lower time frame. We have reached the 618, so we could potentially even look for a better entry into that price action right there, if you want to be an absolute sniper, back into the 1 hour. But that 1 hour candle's already been mitigated, so I kind of like the current price action better, to be honest. 4 hour, 1 hour doesn't give me too much, and then 15 minutes, nothing too crazy that jumps out there. Maybe we come back here and take some of this liquidity out. This is a live trade, so I'm doing this with you guys. This is our analyzer, so obviously you can see we have liquidity there. So an entry around the 618 to 786. There could be potentially a better entry, but you do obviously risk not to be trigger. But if you want to play the sniper entries, that's the price to pay, where you basically just wait for a better risk to reward. So something like this for BONK, definitely a possibility in my eyes, and this will be a nice 1 to 3.5 risk to reward. So once again, this is a live idea. We'll put it up here. We can come back to it. We have hit, we have hit a selling pressure, the first of one of or two really, because the second one is up here, but definitely in an area where I'm interested in potential correction. So this wouldn't be necessarily long-term bearish idea, but just more like playing the correction. Quant, we spoke about last week about the area that we potentially could see it coming back to and give a re-entry. I do not know if we're gonna get that entry with Quant. It looks like this pair is really just keeps making higher highs. So I think 100 would be lucky to get, hopefully. If it comes back into 85 and even lower, that's absolutely finger licking good. But otherwise, this kind of order block right here into the 110, 100 to 110 would be the best bet for a first entry. I'm not necessarily too fond to promote this as a first entry either, because the better entry was a 50 when we called it. So if this is in all conscience, I can't really tell you go and buy at 100 because the move is already 2x. So, but up to you, your money, do what you want. Let's take a look at a couple of stocks which moved nicely. Obviously, start of the week, we had some nice movement. Our option, if you are in Snapchat, is absolutely going the way we expected it. You can see this was our entry on a daily. We are now moving nicely, and even if you took it not as an option but as a simple portfolio idea, you're still up 42%. So not too shabby on a stock in just a matter of a few weeks. Nike, we talked about it 2 weeks ago about this gap either coming to gap backfilled or Nike just reversing, and it looks like it's doing the second, so which is good. I'm still very much happy to have taken profits here because this is obviously quite dangerous area. We could also reject and come back to it before we go back up, but with such a move that we took, definitely get into the habit of taking profits. When you're so close to take profit and you see the market starting to reverse, it's okay to take profit a little bit early, right? I didn't close my entire position, but definitely happy to have taken some profits there because yeah, this is dangerous. Coffee. We talked about it last week. Well, we've been talking about it now for a few weeks, and the move is playing literally to the T. So I am expecting to come back into this FIB cluster for 264. Keep an eye out. Deploy some coffee. Deploy some money into coffee. That's what I'm going to be doing. Target, after a bit of a bearish, well, actually, I should say not even bearish, but consolidation. We took the last bit of, literally we sniped that entry, and now we are starting to make higher highs. So first take profit for me is going to be 120 with an entry of 95. And then what I'm really targeting is this kind of levels up here. So this is a portfolio idea. I didn't take it on option. But I did take ETSY on an option, and I'm very happy I did, because you can see we basically just waited for the perfect entry, which was on a weekly time frame. So these are very much swings out of the COVID candle right there, and we are obviously now seeing ETSY going back to where it belongs, which I think is into the 150s, somewhere up here. So you can see this is the candle of interest for me, 130 to 150. So that would be a nice payday over there. And there was another couple of options that I've been looking at, and these are new, sorry, not options, but stocks that I'm looking at. I've been a little bit reluctant to share them because there is a bit of info happening. So, but basically they're obviously defense, RTX, RCAT, ONDS, KTOS, and GD. So these are all defense related stocks. I do not want to buy them at this high. They're obviously already moved quite considerably, but there's a couple of them that have given us some really nice pullback. So the one that I'm going to be calling out next likely is going to be RCAT Holdings, and you can do your due diligence in this. Basically, what they are, what they do, their earnings. I am going to deploy capital back into basically sub 8, so I'm expecting some sort of move similar to this, and then come back into the 14. So targeting a 2x for RCAT Holding. That will be my my move. So I'm not just ready yet to call it, and you can take this as an option as well. It's not overly expensive. And ONDS, oh man, oh, that's upsetting. I was looking at it the other night. I wanted to short this. This was an idea. I didn't actually take it. Yeah, should have shorted it. Is what it is. Why did I want to short it? Okay, well you can see right here, and if I move the idea to the right a little bit, so make room. On a 4 hour, you can see some 4 hour candle taking out massive liquidity and then proceeding to make lower lows. So that is a clear indication, at least in the short term, that yeah, market is basically ready to go short. And sure enough, yeah, it started to go short. There's still an option there, especially for those of you that are going to catch the recording in the US. If you want to do a short put, or this is a $2.25 stock, so you can definitely short put and do an option. Options are not just for up, you can also short them. This could be a nice little option. I'll probably do it until, I was looking up until September in terms of time frame. So something like this will be my time frame, because with option you have to also take a certain date of expiry. This will be a nice idea, but I don't even know if we're gonna go back there. Looks like we're moving already. Okay, and the other two that we were looking at, I was looking at, is same thing. Oh man, It is what it is. You can't catch them all. You just can't. You know, it's good. It's good to see that the TA plays out though. So these, I was looking at them literally the other night at this. It was too late. So it was too late for me to enter. So yeah, didn't enter, but should have. This could potentially also give you a nice re-entry. So Kratos, but these are sell to buy moves. So eventually my main move will be somewhere here, and target of course will be much higher. It's a little bit slow. I apologize that it's lagging a little bit. So this will be like a $75 minimum for me, and this will be a portfolio, so I'm not too stressed. Next, GME, we've been looking at it, still hasn't broken that trend line liquidity that I wanted to break, so haven't called it out just yet. But good news for anyone that took the call with me on XYZ, which is Jack Dorsey's company, BONK, because we absolutely did good. It's now going to be included in the S&P 500. So we probably took the last sub 50 entry that we'll see for a very long time. And you can see we are now up a solid almost 60% on that stock. Once again, just in a few weeks. So get good. Yep. So awesome. I'm glad that some of you guys entered. Daza, I can always count on you on some following some stock play. So that's good to see that I'm not the only one just winning. It's we gotta win together. That's the name of the game. So, and this is kind of what I wanted to chat about tonight. Really, it was a bit of the main four. So for me, to recap, Bitcoin really sideways action, hasn't really made its mind yet, but I am more leaning towards a bearish price action in the shorter term. So I want to see this area retest it and then potentially do a short. For Ethereum, we have a live idea, which is already starting to move. Live idea on ETH. 2 entries. Solana, take profit please, because we are starting to, you can see, break down in structure, making lower lows. So there will be some nice retracement, healthy retracement, because once we have this kind of expansion to the upside, we need to have some sort of healthy retracement. So if you are into the idea, please take some profit. And XRP will likely follow BTC, ETH, and SOL. So we could potentially be looking at a short for BTC, for XRP too. But between the 3 and the 4s, actually, I should say, ETH is the one that currently it's clearer in my eyes, followed by SOL, which I'm not going to short because we are in such a beautiful long. So I'd rather take some profit and just see what happens. So I've got an edge on a long, and I've got an edge on a short. So I'm exposing the market both ways, and I am okay with that. This is it for the crypto side, and obviously we had a look at some stocks as well. And now I'm going to open the call for any questions or charts that you want to have a look at, and let's chat. Feel free to type away or take yourself off mute. Pengu, yep, can have a look at Pengu. So Pengu, obviously a lot of strength. Nothing really to do at the moment aside from waiting for a pullback, really. So we have hit the second selling pressure, which is here into this order block right here. This is the second area of selling pressure. So now depends what you want to do in Pengu. If you're looking at selling, it's not a bad idea. I saw that greeny being the killer trader that he is, decided to take profit here, and it makes perfect sense. You're basically at an all-time high, so definitely take some profit here. If you had an entry here, here, or even here, definitely time to take some profit, because there's a solid chance that it will come back into this area right here, which lines up perfectly with the analysis that we just had a look at on a few different pairs. SPK. Let's have a look. I don't know anything about it, Lars, so I'm not going to comment on the project. I can just give you a chart perspective on it. I don't even know what it is. My bandwidth is. I'm very focused on the main four at the moment, so not too many alts at the moment. Why is it not loading up for me? Yep, we'll have a look at anime as well. We did have a look at anime already, Coconut, but we'll have a look at it again. Come on. Is this the right ticker? Lars, SPK, USD? Oh, wow. Okay. What am I looking at? Looking at a rocket. Nah, it's all right, Coconut. I got you. Give me a minute. Yeah, I mean this. Yeah, well, I don't know what it is. What is it? This price discovery. Is that a meme coin? It's on Coinbase though, so there's zero price action for me to go buy. Definitely don't buy here. Definitely. Like maybe if you come back into some of these imbalances here. But yeah, definitely not here. There's this high chance that we're gonna come back into this 4-hour candle, likely into this 4-hour candle right here, and potentially I'll do 3 entries here. I will do where was it? Sorry, I'm just lagging because I'm sharing. There's also a big storm outside, so could be that. Internet's a bit slow. Yeah, 1 entry, 2 entry, 3 entry. Basically, you DCA on the way down. So you try to catch this kind of moves. That would be my bet on SPK. There's nothing there. I'm not an indicator trader, so I'm not going to go and try to play RSIs or anything like that on this. So I say for now, not too much. And now we have a look at anime. What I was saying earlier, Coconut, I think you joined in a little bit after, but we caught a great entry, of course, on anime. Now it's time to protect your entry. So this was the time to take profit. You can still take some profit here, of course, but definitely cover your entry. There's a very strong chance that we come back into entry level just because of the whole market likely correcting. So, and obviously altcoins are going to very much correct more than BTC or even ETH. So pretty much expect healthy corrections left, right, and center on the market, which is normal. Like I'm not saying we're gonna come back to all-time lows. I'm not saying we're gonna come back for here. I'm saying we're likely gonna come back into entry levels and before we go back up. So we are very much at the beginning of alt season. How long, I don't know. BTC targets don't really have too many. For me, at a weekly basis, I'm still kind of titillating into the idea that we are likely going to see a top very soon. Very, very soon. I think we're very close to the top, personally. This may not be just yet, but yeah, I think very, very soon for BTC. And obviously ETH has a bit more room to run and all-time highs. We are now nearing all-time highs again, which is nice. So yeah, there's a bit more upside still, a bit more fun to be had on altcoins, but start getting into areas where we can take some profit. Personally, I'm taking more profit on XRP very soon on the next wave up. We'll do one more with the hype on request and hype. I haven't really partaken in hype too much. Obviously, price action has gone berserk, but let's have a quick look. It's a bit slow. There. Yeah, this is on a daily, so we can start to see some nice bearish price action right there. Once again, nice short opportunity. How far? Depends if you want to go back and look at this equal lows down here potentially as a target. This is also another short opportunity in the market. But like I said, I'm focusing more on the main four, so I'd rather short ETH at the moment than hype. But if you want to, diversify or definitely take some profit here, you can see we are starting to push lower. I think we're going to make some lower lows. This is also another live idea if you want, right there on hype. This gives you a 1 to 2. If you tighten your stop a little bit more and you put it just above those equal highs up here, it's a 1 to almost 3. So live idea as well if you want on hype. That's my take. A short, take profit very much here at a high. So that would be my my take. Yeah, something like that. 2.262. We can leave it there. Put it there. Cool. But yeah, the project of course has done very well. I wasn't too fond from a dev perspective, just because I saw some vulnerabilities potentially. But yeah, obviously the project is doing fantastic. Any more questions, team? Nope. Well, if that's all, then make sure you take some profit. Go back, watch the replay. We have a couple of live ideas. We got hype and we got ETH. ETH has already started to move, so maybe hype can be one that you take at current market price. And other than that, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, Tim. Have a great night.